Well, today, the Republican National Committee will vote for their next party chair as they gear up for the 2024 election cycle. Current RNC chairwoman Ronna McDaniel is facing off against challengers Harmeet, Dhillon, and MyPillow founder Mike Lindell. Today's vote marks the last day of the RNC winter meeting. CBS News political director Finn Gomez is in California covering the meeting for us. Finny, good to see you. So, what can you tell us about the candidates for the chairmanship, and how are Ronna McDaniel's chances looking at this point?
Vlad, good morning. Yeah, it has become a bitter race in the campaign for RNC chair in this glitzy part of Southern California where the Republicans are holding their winter meetings. There are three candidates, as you mentioned, running for the position. Ronna McDaniel, the current chairwoman and frontrunner who's running for her fourth term. Harmeet, Dhillon, the California lawyer who's mounting an aggressive challenge versus McDaniel. And Mike Lindell, as you mentioned, the long shot Trump acolyte who's the CEO of MyPillow. But the race is really between McDaniel and Dhillon. McDaniel has touted over 100 public endorsements of the 168 voting members, but Dhillon has seen her support grow in recent weeks. Yesterday, Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor and potential presidential candidate, gave Dhillon what amounts to a tacit endorsement, telling a conservative outlet that the RNC needed, quote, new blood. We spoke to Dhillon after the DeSantis remarks. She stopped short of calling it an endorsement, but said it added, quote, momentum to her campaign. DeSantis remarks have really scrambled this race, Vlad. One member of Dhillon's team said that she has picked up 10 votes since DeSantis made those comments, but McDaniel is still expected to win. She has been a prolific fundraiser for the Republican Party during her tenure. And remember, Vlad, the winner only needs 85 votes out of the 168 voting members, and that vote will happen later today. These races for chair are typically sleepy affairs, but this race has turned ugly and bitter at times, and it's turned into what amounts to like a political knife fight at times, Vlad.
And Finn, I'm wondering what the Trump factor is here in this race, because as we look ahead to the 2024 election cycle, which is what the RNC wants to put the party in its strongest position for, we can look at the midterm election results where this red wave didn't materialize. And that's why Kevin McCarthy had such a fight in Congress becoming House Speaker, because he just didn't have enough people and had to negotiate and agree with the more right-wing members of the party. So between these two frontrunners, as you've mentioned, which appears to be more or less Trumpian?
Errol, actually, the underperformance of the Republican Party during the November midterms has been the undercurrent of these winter meetings and the elections. Who is the most Trumpian? It's really sort of split. Dhillon has support from both never Trumpers and MAGA Trumpers, people who are hardcore Trump supporters like Carrie Lake. However, there's been this sense from different factions within the party here that the underperformance from the midterms and previous cycles when Ronna McDaniel was at the helm has hurt the Republicans' chances. However, again, McDaniel is seen as a frontrunner. She has this ability to raise a lot of money, $1.5 million she's raised from Republican donors during her tenure, and her supporters say that is the infrastructure that is needed for whomever is the eventual Republican nominee in this upcoming election.
So, Finn, as you know, former President Trump is headed to South Carolina this weekend for his first campaign event since announcing his 2024 bid. CBS News chief election campaign correspondent Robert Costa spoke with Ambassador John Bolton yesterday, and he was asked, the ambassador was, about how he feels that the Trump campaign is going so far. Listen to this.
I think it's going downhill, and I think it'll continue to go downhill. I think Republicans, especially after the November 8 elections last year, see that he's poison to the ticket. He cannot be elected president. If he were the Republican nominee, he would doom our chances to get a majority in the Senate and the House. I don't think he's going to be the Republican nominee.
Is Trump a threat to national security?
I think he is. I believe that the damage he did during his term was significant but repairable. I strongly opposed him getting a second term because I worried that what he would do in a second term might be irreparable.
So it feels very deja vu-ish like for me, Finn, because I heard people in the Republican Party saying the very similar sentiment, expressing a similar sentiment back in 2016. So what's the real mood like?
You know, it's been sort of split, Vlad. You know, I spoke to some RNC members who still ardently support the former president, but I also spoke to some RNC members who think it's time to turn the page and look at different options. And they did say it's similar to 2016, but at the same time, they feel that this field will be wide and there'll be a lot of potential candidates entering the race, and therefore, you know, they should be considered.
All right, Finn, thanks very much. Hope you get to enjoy Dana Point while you're there. Don't work too hard. It's approaching the weekend. Thank you, Finn.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go surfing afterwards. That's
Nice.
so
Love
nice.
it.
Thanks a lot, Errol. Appreciate it.
All right.